I see you on Facebook Live. It popped up on my phone.
Okay, everyone. So, hey, Dental Nachos crew and everybody watching on Zoom, special Halloween episode of Talking Nachos with Dr. Nacho with one of my friends, someone I feel very lucky to know is going to bring us a lot of value. We're going to talk as two, well, I'm a medium-age dentist. We'll get to that in a minute. Ahmad. Dr. Yazdan's not there yet. But today we want to talk about a few different things. One of the things that Desiree gets questions on is about dental school debt. We get questions on that here too. But also, you know, is your practice like a baby? Or is your baby more like a practice? So we may have a special guest. The moderators are getting ready for Halloween, so they may be by today. I got two small humans living in my house, the Nacho family. So what's most important, Desiree, forget about dentistry and practicing. Tell us about the upcoming big thing for you.
Oh my goodness. Well, I'm expecting my first little human and any day now, but sometimes I'm like, is she actually going to end up coming? Because
well, you look awesome. I can barely tell, but yes, I remember this time.
If I stand up, you can tell, trust me.
Yeah, I remember this time for those who are watching. So, you know, I did not have to go through the process, but I was a big part of the process. And I'll tell you, you know, a preview of like, you know, I would never tell someone their extraction is going to go really easy because that's the one that doesn't. So our first child came on her due date, shot out the same day. It was like a DVR express birth. I was really upset. I was really worried about myself because we almost, Desiree, had Daphne on the street. And, you know, we almost didn't get to the hospital. And if you don't, you could win the Nobel Peace Prize. And if you have a baby on the street, you can never live it down. So I would say and what happened is, Desiree, I'm a rule follower. So when we went to like the preview at the hospital, they said, don't come too early. You're going to be sent home. And Mary, who you might see, she's tougher than I think, because I just think, you know, the contractions, we were timing them on our iPhone, and we just waited a little too long. So then when Drew came, as soon as we felt something, we said we're going. And Drew was 4 days late, you know. So we went and was almost too early, but they kept us there. And I don't know the technical term, but Drew, I think she got stuck a little bit, and we had like a C-section with her. So I had both experiences, the slow and fast. But you're going to do awesome and great, and you'll have your own small human. So congratulations there. And I think that sets us up well to hear from you. I know you get a lot of questions, and I want you to tell our audience about yourself. But just to set up the why of why we're talking is, you know, dental school debt, buying a practice, starting a family, they all go together. There's stuff that dental school does not teach us about. So first, just orient the Dental Nachos crew to who you are, what you do in this dental space. You can tell them how we know each other before we get started on our conversation.
So you and I know this, but you and I met on Instagram.
Yeah.
You messaged me about my husband's beard, and at first
I got beard trim today. Yeah, today.
Yeah. And I was like, what is this like person? What's Dental Nachos? And then I started searching what Dental Nachos was, and I was like, oh, this is really cool. So anyways, for those people that don't know me, my name's Desiree Yazdan. I do mostly cosmetic dentistry in California, Southern California, Orange County. And then I also help healthcare professionals like dentists, doctors, so on, with social media growth, because that's how I grew my business. Awesome. Through a series of unfortunate events, which you also know about. But yeah, I turned to social media, and that's how I grew my business. So here we are today. And, you know, I get so many questions about school debt, which thankfully that's one thing I didn't have to struggle with. So it's a question I'm never able to answer for people. Yeah. And so I'm always like, oh, I have nothing to say. And so finally, when I saw you talking about it, I was like, oh, you're the perfect person to talk about this with. So I invited my community also to come and learn from you. So I'm really excited.
That's awesome. Well, I have to say, I feel very fortunate. I graduated from dental school in 2002, and I had very minimal to almost no debt. But with doing what I do, working with residents, well before Dr. Nacho, well before Dental Nachos, I was trying to connect people for jobs and learn about what happens to the young dentist. And even if you had even if you took out 4 years of the full debt in 2002, that is way different now in 2019. I mean, my own school, you know, the full debt was about $200,000 at Penn, and it's now like $600,000. Right. So I have a lot of strong thoughts on how this debt is just getting out of control and the price are getting out of control. And we can have multiple webinars on that.
I also get the question a lot, not just how to deal with the school debt, but is it worth it? Like, I'm going to be in debt, you know, $500,000-$600,000. Like, is it even worth to go down that route? So
And-
that would be a good thing for you to cover as well.
Perfect. We'll talk together about it. So if you're listening to this, we're going to start off talking about dental school debt and how it affects all of us. It affects you if you don't have debt. It affects you if you're a dental student. It affects you if you're a practice owner. It affects you if you're going to sell your practice. And my goal is to bring positive, realistic awareness to the space so that people can, instead of feeling, which is totally normal, how am I ever going to sleep if I have a baby again? I'll tell you, you do sleep, not as much, but it's normal to be here. But one of the things I'll share up front is when you have a baby, people are very excited for you and they come and help you with the baby.
Oh, that's true.
When you have dental school debt, no one is excited for you.
And nobody wants to help you.
So let's talk, I love questions, I love stories. So people have been asking you, is it worth it to take out $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 in debt to go to dental school? And I would ask you, what are some of your general thoughts? You're a practice owner. When did you graduate, Desiree?
2012.
2012. So
Am I
you're
medium age dentist yet?
You're not yet. You're a CAD, a child age dentist. Enjoy it.
Okay.
I got all my signs here. Medium age dentist is 10 to 25 years out.
Oh, okay. So
See?
I've got about 2-3 more years left.
Yeah, a child age dentist is 5 to 10 years out of CAD. So
Okay.
share with me when they ask that, what people are asking is, I'm going to take out all this debt. I'm going to spend 4 years of my life. I do a GPR 5 years of my life. And is it worth it? And I just think one thing I like to say is it's a really good question to ask. It doesn't mean the answer has to be, it's not worth it at all, or it's totally worth it. I think one of the things that I've noticed about dentists, and you probably do too, is they're very dramatic. I could enjoy being a dentist. I could enjoy the life that I've created, but I can also see how challenging it is to run a practice, how many decisions you have to make, how difficult it is. And I can say, if I was to go back again, I wouldn't take out $600,000 in debt. And that's just Paul Goodman to become a dentist. Now, if you're sitting there thinking, I have $600,000 in debt, should I just quit dental school? The answer is no. It doesn't mean you should quit dental school. It's just awareness. So one of the things I would share with you, Desiree, is someone who takes out $400,000, $500,000, $600,000 in debt to go to dental school, what's that loan repayment going to look like? And one of the things that I'll share with someone is, let's say someone's going to put $20,000 a year of after-tax dollars into their debt, right? They have to earn $30,000. And you talk with new dentists, what type of income are you seeing brand new dentists making per year as a general sense or day?
I want to say it's roughly like $500 a day as a base pay. And then some offices, depending on what kind of office it is, they'll say, okay, and if you produce, for example, above $2,500 or whatever it is, we'll give you an extra 25% on top of that daily rate.
And that's a traditional way to have a daily safety and guarantee and the opportunity to make more. So I'm going to share a lot of things I think are positive about dentistry, things that are neutral and real concerns. And it's Halloween, Desiree. I'll call them scary nachos. Scary nachos that, sorry, Desiree, because I know you're pregnant, but you're getting there, that you whip. So when I'm going to share with you, and I think the moderators will be here before we're over, when you go out as a parent for Halloween, you have to prepare yourself when you go, okay? Because the kids are dressed up. It's crazy. And this is how I prepare myself. I bring these small bottles of tequila out with me so that I could drink while we're out there. Mary actually does make great drinks. But one of the things that's a scary nacho is that what dentists have been earning after dental school has been the same since I've left dental school, about 15 years. And the dental school cost has gone up 2 or 3 times. So how can they deal with that? One is to learn procedures that will help them get that 25%. What are some procedures that you do that you say, hey, this is both profitable and fun? And if I was a young dentist, even if I was in dental school, I would put energy onto learning as much as I could about this. What's something that you do?
For me, indirect restoration. So any kind of crowns, inlays, onlays, porcelain veneers, those things are, especially any kind of cosmetic work, because people will be more willing to pay for a cosmetic treatment than, and it's really sad because they could have broken teeth. I get it all the time. They have broken teeth all in the back. They've got decay. And then they're like, oh, I just want my teeth to look nice. And you're like, well, hold on. I know the front teeth need some work, but there's no infection, right? So I think focusing on learning those things as well is really helpful. I know for you, I don't place implants myself. I have an implant surgeon that does, but
That's great.
Things like, place implants because yes, it's a higher cost for the procedure. And it's something that you can offer to a practice. Like, for example, I don't place implants, but I have someone that comes in
Yes. And
so,
you said a couple of things here I want to unpack. So we have scary nachos of dental students out of school are making the same as they did 15 years ago.
right.
How to deal with the scary nachos. What you shared was doing cosmetic and indirect dentistry that is both profitable and you enjoy it. Because I read one of your posts and you said you wanted to be an oral surgeon at one point, but you didn't really enjoy this. So
no.
I have to share this. So when you don't have any money, you think anything that brings you money will make you happy. And then when you get money, you're like, this does not make me happy. So take it from a mad and a cad that you wouldn't be happy doing endo and oral surgery to make the money that you do with cosmetic dentistry. So what I encourage young dentists, or really any age dentist, is don't look at cosmetic dentistry, implants, sleep apnea, endo, oral surgery as only more productive, because if you can't enjoy it and learn all the aspects of it, so you enjoy sitting a patient down and putting in veneers and transforming their smile. Yes. Todd Fleischman, someone like you, he enjoys that too. If you could tag my friend Joe Latinelli, I hope you meet him sometime, he enjoys that too. If that was me, and if you said, hey, Paul, I got these 8 veneers laid out, but I have to go into labor, could you put them in? I would start crying like a baby myself, because all the steps, silane, do you even need silane? It sounds made up. No, I'm just joking. But that's not my thing. And it, to me, in my brain, all the little things with the cement and the getting it right, but to you, you love it, and Todd loves it. And then when we talk about implant cases, I was lucky to learn to place implants early, but I don't place as many now. I have an in-house specialist too. But what I do is I really know how to manage the cases. I know how to get the patients to say yes. I know how to do overdentures where people invest 30 or 40,000. So to me, and this is really such a great point for both of our audiences. If I lived your life, it would make me scared. Even if I made money, I would be afraid I couldn't manage the problem. And if you live my life, you might feel the same way. It doesn't mean one's right or one's wrong. It just means that you want to focus on stuff that's fun, profitable, and that you can learn more about. But I think what we owe to the people watching this, whether it's now or 20 years from now, the way I got to know so much about implants is I did a multi-year GPR. I spent 3 years of my life at Albert Einstein in Philadelphia, learning from periodontists and oral surgeons. I only made $150,000 in 3 years, where most of my dental friends made $300,000 or $400,000. So I invested really early in learning this because I wanted to. And that was what I did. I sacrificed or built. What did you do to learn this cosmetic dentistry? Because someone says, I hear you, Desiree. I want to do it. I want to learn. How did you find the budget for CE, the time, and what type of CE?
So you know what? I had 2 mentors that really helped me. And I kind of did what you did, but in a different way. I didn't do a residency, but I would start by saying, can I just watch you? And then by watching them, while I was like a licensed dentist. So instead of spending my day working, I would shadow them, and then I would have tons of questions. And I would say, why did you use this cement? On this case, you use this cement. How come? How come you removed it like this? Every case is so different, you know? And so I wasn't ever afraid to ask questions, and they would answer. I also took CE courses, a ton of CE courses, but I felt like the mentorship that I got was so much more helpful, because it was actually like working on so many different cases all the time. And then with that, it's like I also got to get the experience of it, because then it became like a working position and an associateship. So I got the experience of it too early on, and a lot of it. So I think that's the main thing. And like you said, every type of dentistry you do comes with its issues. And if you don't know how to manage those issues, that's where the problems arise. I can handle the people that come in, you know, and they hold up the mirror and they put their head back and they say, well, if you look at my tooth from this angle, which nobody will ever see them from that angle, and they can barely see from that angle. They're like, the back on this part, you know, it looks a little bit whatever. And you're just like, really? That's so unrealistic. But I can manage that. But like you said,
I'm glad you mentioned a couple of those things, because one of the things I put in the Zoom chat and Facebook is we're giving out this is just fun content to learn from us. I'm giving 2 CE prizes, one from Desiree. So if you text the word social, text social to 267-930-2288, you will get Desiree's amazing Creating Selfie Ready Teeth and the Power of Social Media. Then you've given me a lot of kind compliments. If you want to know how to deal with some of those patients, I have a patient communication course. If you text Convo, CONVO, to 267-930-2288, you'll be able to get that. My team will drop that in the link. So what you said there was so important. A couple of things you said, I want to just go back to for my audience, your audience, and anyone who watches this. You did the Nacho ordinary thing of finding a mentor and investing in yourself and being, listen, if someone said to me, can I come to your office and watch you, Paul? I wouldn't just say, oh, sure, come tomorrow, because I want to know who the person is and why. But if someone is dedicated to it, I will do that. So I encourage all of you, find dentists in your area who you respect. They don't have to be super fancy prosthodontists. They could just be dentists running a nice practice and say, would it be okay if I came on Tuesday afternoons to observe you? And one of the things I love Gary Vee, learned a lot from him. The mentee has to bring something to the mentor. And when people hear me say that, and I've mentored so many people, they say, but I can't pay anything. And I say, no, I don't want you to pay anything, but I want you to do something that brings value to the mentor. So for example, if you were to get mentored by a medium-aged dentist, what value could you bring? What fuses well is maybe you could help them get started on social media. Maybe you could say, hey, when we do these cases, I'll take some pictures and I'll put them into a PowerPoint. You wouldn't believe that dentists who can do full mouth rehabilitations are afraid of opening up Keynote. So bring something that's free to you. Maybe you do a spreadsheet, maybe you do a checklist. And what's cool, guys, is if you do that for your mentor and say, I'll make you a PowerPoint, I'll help you with social media, I'll put together a checklist, you're also doing it for yourself because you get this content later. And that's a great way to bond and say that. So you can't just walk in an office and say, hi, I'm Paul. Can I watch here for the next week? But you have to be like Desiree, ask the right questions. Now, what CE courses, let's say you do the mentorship, what are some examples of CE courses you found valuable or organizations in cosmetic dentistry that you found valuable?
There's one by Bruce Crispin in LA. I thought that was probably like the better one. I originally started off with courses at my dental school, so at USC. And some of those, honestly, I was like, this is not helping me that much. So I can't put a name to one that was like really incredible for cosmetics. I know that Dr. Monnier teaches there. His courses are good. It's good. But since I was there in the school and since I worked in his area, I felt like I already kind of knew what he was talking about. So there's one by Bruce Crispin who's in.
That's a great one. We can tag him with V's and Nachos. And what I'm trying to also point out is, it's the right C at the right time in your life. So if you came to the you were an awesome speaker at the Dentist and Teen Boost Festival. If you came 2 years ago before you were pregnant and I said, watch my children, you'd say, I'd rather eat at a fancy restaurant. Now, if I said this time to you and your husband, get your beard all ready, hang out with Drew, you guys might be like, sure, we'll skip the restaurant because this is happening to us. And then if you come this year with your awesome baby, hopefully, I bet you and Mary will sit on the couch and talk with mom to mom. So how does that relate to dentists? One thing that I struggle with, and Todd Fleischman and I talk about this a lot, and Joe and I talk about this a lot, sometimes dentists who are too young and too experienced take too fancy of a CE course, and it's not the right fit. You want to be taking what fits with you in your life. You don't need to go to a course on how to send your children to college. You just need to get through the first year with your baby. And I feel for these young dentists, but sometimes I hear them, they spend $10,000 on this continuum, and the first year out of dental school, there's two problems there. One, they don't have the real world experience to make that come to life. And two, they're rarely working in a practice where they can utilize that knowledge, right? Because how this relates to debt, guys, is when you have dental school debt, and this is one of my messages, you just took a $400,000 CE course. When you get out of dental school and I say, hey, I'm having the Dentist and Teen Boost Festival, it's $700 for 2 days. Don't say, oh, I can't afford that. Say, I need to figure out a way to invest and put myself in the room with Dr. Mark Costas and Dr. Todd Fleischman. But if I said, there's a $20,000 implant continuum overseas, I'd say, wait until you get experience. So when you're shopping and selecting from your menu, and all of us have made errors. I've gone to CE courses that I wish I didn't go to, but younger dentists now, Desiree, with the debt, they got to pick ones that really fit into their dentisting life and vision. And I think that was a perfect point. So we talked about how to deal with that. Go ahead.
You know, when you say right time, right place, it's like until you have a little bit of experience under your belt, you don't know what you're missing out on. You don't know, you know what? I did this person's veneer case and all of them have gone well, but this one keeps breaking the same tooth. So is it an occlusal issue? Maybe I should take a course on occlusion because I'm not getting it right. Like I've put in, you know, and so you don't know what you're missing out on until you've had some of that experience. So,
and I want to take a minute to share, and you're going to be one of our amazing presenters, just like this, you know, after maybe when the baby's 4 or 5 months old. I'm creating a Dental Nacho Supreme C on TV to deal with this because people go to live courses,
right,
and they don't get to watch it again. And then people go to online courses and they can rewatch it, but they don't get the feeling of it being live. So I'm going to have people present live like this. We're here with Dr. Desiree Yazdan. You give an hour presentation for CE. They watch it live. It counts as live. After the course, like the Bachelorette or Bachelor, they're going to ask you questions about your life, what went well. But this is the part I just want to drive home, even for presenters like you. The course is going to be on a DVR the whole year. So if you were to talk about your first cosmetic case, doing better bonding, something like that, and somebody watches it in February, I want them to be able to watch it right before they do it in September. And I think this is what's missing in our world, because when you just sit in a hotel conference room, it sounds good. Oh, I'm going to do all this stuff. And then you get back to your office, your hygienist calls out sick, your printer doesn't work, the server's down.
Why do you think I wanted the videos of all the speakers even when I came out and I was a speaker myself? I was like, hey, can send me the videos. I want that.
And that's what, and now you have it as a souvenir library. And one of the things that
they're on my iPad, and I look, you know,
you can bring, and I love that you could bring it up and say, oh, what did Kira say about the team thing here? And that's what I want to be able to dial up. And you've made an good point. Just because you're a speaker or because you are a dentist, you're always learning as yourself.
100%.
And
you know what? Even I always say this too, it's a good mentality to have. No matter how much you learn and how much you think you know, even as a practice owner, there's somebody next to you or around you who knows more than you and is always going to know more than you, as in they're more seasoned. So don't be afraid. Like I actually was going to text you yesterday about something dentistry related because you're a CAD, or wait, no, I'm a CAD.
You're a CAD. I'm a med. And sometimes like one of the things in life, and I think everything in life, and this fits so well with the debt and the baby, is this thing normal? So if you text Mary in 4 months, my baby only sleeps 3 hours and then gets up, she might be like, hey, Desiree, that's totally normal. And that makes you feel better. Or sometimes you text someone with a problem and they don't know the answer, it just makes you feel better. Now you have 2 people trying to solve it. So that's my whole thing, is bonding dentists together, to use a term like you, so that we feel comfortable. And the ability to pick up your phone and text to Todd Fleischman, Desiree, or me a quick question. It could be as simple as, you know, who does your liability insurance? My liability insurance is $10,000. You know, this is what happens with new parents and new practice owners. And like someone will text me and be like, I got an IT quote for $20,000. Are they ripping me off? I'm like, no, mine was $25,000. And I love that because I'm managing their expectations. Right. So we talked about, if you're $600,000 in debt, $400,000, $500,000, the things that you can do to mitigate that, change those scary nachos. Is it worth it? Only you can decide if it's worth it. But I just want a dentist, whether it's the Dental Nacho Supreme, doesn't have to be that, whether it's a CE course, whether it's just going down the street, to create awareness of the life that you're going to be leading. I mean, this is what I love to do, Desiree. I'm not putting you on the spot. Just tell us a day in the life of practice owner Desiree, from what you have to deal with clinically, leadership, business, people crying, things like that. We're going to have our Halloween moderators on here at the end in a minute. But I'd love to just get talk to yourself right before you bought the practice. And what would you tell that Desiree that she was so unaware of and what she'd have to deal with daily?
So the truth is, the clinical stuff is the easy stuff. That's like living the dream. If you have a day where all you do is clinical stuff and nothing else happens in the business, that is literally like the best day in the world. I could do that all day long without any breaks. It's all the other stuff that you're not prepared for. Your office manager gets sick, your internet goes out, your credit card thing isn't running, so people can't pay for their bills. Your patient showed up to put in the 10 veneers, and guess what? They forgot their checkbook, and you can't turn them away. Your hygienist has a patient explode in their chair because they don't want a fluoride varnish, applied to their teeth, and how dare they offer a fluoride to them, and now there's like a
Desiree, keep telling your things, because here's what I'm gonna do at the end. I'm gonna put on my Halloween costume and show you people, but you can still keep, I feel this is very healthy. Let it out, tell them, because what you said is so, my dad said to me, and this is what never changes in dentistry. There was a time in dental school where I wanted to change, leave dental school and do something else, be a college professor. I said this, and he said to me, one day the clinical stuff will be the easy part, and it'll be all, and that was in 1999 or 2000. So let it out while I get my costume on. I'll be right back.
I can't wait to see. Yeah. So, there's so many things in business that you're not aware about. And it's usually all the administrative stuff. You find out, this is a horrible thing to think about, but like somebody, I had an assistant years ago who was stealing products from my office and then reselling them on eBay. Like those are things that you find out over time. Or like, instead of cleaning out impression trays, the assistant is like hiding them and ordering new impression trays. So these are real life things that you actually deal with that, oh my gosh, I've got to see.
So now I'm back. So at the end here, thanks, Desiree, to bring this all together. I love Starbucks. I'm holding one of my favorite things, Starbucks. Their company I love is great. Their customer service, and Desiree. So I'm holding, I love this, but I'm going to hold something that looks like this I love even more. So when we were kids, all you could do is get the costumes from the local stores. But now, through the magic of Etsy, we have two, one moderator. First one is dressed as my favorite thing, a Starbucks cup. So say hi to Drew.
You have to eat her alive.
It was nice of you. It was nice of you. It was nice of you. Oh, thanks, Desiree. It was nice of the thing I love to dress like the thing I love. Aww. Thanks, Drew. So wave hi to Desiree. So this is a 15-month-old. See, your second child, you can't even remember how old they are. Sorry, this is gonna be on Zoom forever. So this is Starbucks cup here. So this is Drew. She is a true baby. And then Daff. Sorry, Drew. Daff is dressed as one of the descendants. So I don't know if you guys know the descendants. Here's one of the things, Desiree. I don't know if you and your husband, and I do feel, I'm glad I got my beard done today for him. Thanks. Say hi to that. So the descendants are the children of the villains from the movies who they try to be nice to. It's really cool. So what's your name of your character? Uma. All right, awesome, guys. I'll let you guys get started. So thanks for letting me do that, Desiree. All right, guys. I'll see you. Have a fun time. I'll be out soon. So tell me, Desiree, parting thoughts, and this is great. I appreciate everything you do with us, and jumping on here is parting thoughts for the Nacho audience and your audience on dental school debt, about to have a baby, practice ownerships. What would you say? Hey, guys, just remember this. You'll be okay, but don't forget about this Nacho tip.
One thing I would say is if it's something you truly love and you want to pursue, then do it. Because the time, like people say, oh, it takes so long to go through dental school or whatever, the time's going to pass anyways. Or, no matter what you do, if you think you're going to be really good at it and you're going to enjoy it and be happy in your life, then do it.
I love that. And I'll add that, with all the awesome things you do on Instagram, and you're so humble with your 140,000 followers, and Dental Nachos is here as a resource, trying to do things that you'll get by with help from your Nacho and Instagram friends. So get out there and meet people, whether it's online, in person. Say that
too. Like, make sure that you stay connected with people in your community. You should always have access to other dentists and specialists and people in the dental world to support you, and that you can give knowledge to, you can help them, and then they can help you. And it's just a nice way to live your life, to have that.
I love that. You're the true essence of JBN, Desiree. Thanks for everything. Nacho crew, Desiree's crew. If you want to join the Dental Nacho Supreme, we have awesome pricing. Today is our last day for pumpkin pricing, so take advantage of it. Email supreme@dentalnachos.com or text SALSA to 267-930-2288. And you can get 2 free courses by texting social and convo that number. So text SALSA, convo, social to that same number. You'll get it. Thanks for everything, Desiree. Enjoy Halloween tonight, and can't wait to next Zoom. We're going to have your own moderator on.
I can't wait.
Thanks, guys. Have a great rest of the afternoon.
Bye, guys.